What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about what coins in the top 50 market caps of crypto I see going up next week. What coins I believe are going to do well. Shout out to MHAT. This is kind of inspired by you, man. I know you said top 5 coins, but I had a really hard time. You know, MHAT, for those of you that don't know, he's a friend, man. MHAT is a homie, and he had a recommendation that I do a top 5 video or a top 5 cryptos or stocks or whatever at the end of every week. And it was really hard for me. I got to say, it's actually really hard for me to find which ones I think are going to do the best, and that's just because I'm not completely certain as to which ones will do the best, but I am fairly certain as to which ones I would expect to go up in the next week. So what I did was I went through the top 50 cryptos, and I came up with a list of coins that I think are ready to move up rather immediately. So in the next week, you could see these coins turning green, going up, and if you hold them, you might want to hold on to this video because things are going to get exciting probably. I'm not going to go over price predictions. I'm just going to kind of go over the list right now, and then I'm going to do a brief kind of explanation as to why I see that happening from a very basic level of technical analysis. Okay, using the ribbon, probably using the RSI and stuff if it deems it, but we're going to go through the list right now. So I'm going to pause the music. Is my face big and beautiful? Yes, it is. We're on the big screen. Okay, I'm going to be talking about Litecoin, YFI, Yearn Finance, Mana, Decentraland, Compound, Filecoin, Ethereum Classic, Atom, IMX, Dog with Hat, CRO, and the Dragon Riders already know we're talking about Bitcoin Cash. So all of those, that's how many coins? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 11, man. Short of a dozen. I'm sure if I went past the top 50, we would definitely have our dozen. But anyways, let's get into it here. I'm gonna pull up Litecoin first, and I'll shrink my face down so you guys can see. All right. Whoa, real small. Real. All right. Let's see. So Litecoin, for most of these, looking at the ribbon, I was looking for this kind of setup to kind of keep it at a basic understanding, but there were some that looked bullish, even though they didn't have this, and I'll use the RSI for those as well. But if you look at Litecoin here, we're having a very fresh cross on the weekly ribbon. I think that this is going to set us up for a lot of success over the coming weeks, over the immediate term timeframes. I think right now we're reaching for prices that are higher than this. I made a video on Litecoin if you want to know where those are going. I just made a video on that recently, Litecoin breaking out now to $200. Okay, maybe that's where it's going. Maybe it's going to some other price, and that was just the gotcha grab you title. No, I think 200 is definitely a possibility. But this look is really nice for Litecoin. Let's go on to YFI here, USD. For those of you that don't know what this indicator is, it is the moving average ribbon. It's the exponential moving average ribbon. I don't know why. If you go to the templates, it says MA exponential ribbon. It's technically the exponential moving average ribbon, so it'd be this reversed, but still ribbon. The reason why they say ribbon is because it looks like a ribbon, but if you look at what it is, it's just the 20 EMA, 25 EMA, 30. It even says EMA here, but on the template it says MAE. Anyways. 20, 25, it's the 20 to the 55 in increments of 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different moving averages. And essentially how you use it is when it flips, that's when you've established an uptrend, and that's normally also a bullish event. It's not a golden cross, but essentially it's a relatively smaller time frame or smaller moving average kind of golden cross that's pretty key and pretty important in most times. Seeing this cross happen while also pulling back, and Litecoin did the same thing, pulling back to the area of the cross and getting a positive reaction, is a very nice thing to see, because generally whenever you cross, you can pull back to the crossing point. If you were way up here, you might pull back to find support down at the ribbon and then move up, but you've already done that. So I think YFI is definitely one to watch next week as well. If we go to Mana, MANA, USD, I mean, this is just a video of me showing you what the ribbon looks like on all these coins, man. But yeah, doing the same thing here, looking like that. Mana as well, looking pretty good. And I did go through, man. I actually went through more than just the top 50, but I wanted to keep it relative to the top 50 so that it wasn't too long of a video. Compound is one of those that hasn't. It's already had this cross, but it did have a touch on the ribbon, and now we're having a positive reaction out of it, almost looking like we want to get a bullish engulfing candle. We have a day and 20 hours left. I'm going to refresh this and go to compound real quick. Comp USD, go back to it. On a weekly basis, you can see what we've also done is we've found support on the 123 moving average itself. This is the 123 moving average, so it's a lot longer of a time frame. Broke above it, consolidated around it, having that good week. If you look at the weekly RSI, it's in a very positive trajectory. Definitely higher lows going up through this whole thing, and you could go lower, but I don't know. Bouncing off the 60 level, man, that is a very positive reaction in itself. So I do think we want to reach for the skies. I think compound could turn some heads next week. I think we could very well be back above $100, but who knows? Who knows, man? Maybe next week isn't the week where it starts to move up dramatically higher, but nonetheless higher, and it'll have another green week. I would anticipate a bigger green week than it has currently next week, but we'll see. Moving on from compound, Filecoin. Looking at this, I'm kind of excited for Filecoin actually. Let's see, where are we at? I don't know why I couldn't find that, but if you look at this, you're also having this cross right now, man, with a bullish engulfing candle, and you've had a couple wicks to the downside. I can't help but feel, and that all these wicks, by the way, coming off of a previous resistance point, previous kind of resistance points here, I can't help but feel that File is also going to have a very nice week next week. Moving on from there, we're talking about ETC. I don't know, is this one? It already had its cross, but kind of like compound, it moved back to touch. I would like to draw it up real quick. Looking at it here on the monthly, that's a really nice monthly RSI. The weekly RSI looking bullish as hell as well. Bouncing off the 65, the bullish area of control. Getting a dragonfly doji candle with continuation upwards. Love to see it. I'd like to see more volume, but hey, as long as you're below here, I suppose it's not essential. Just when you break above this high, that's when it would be nice to see. I did make a video on Ethereum Classic as well earlier. Ethereum Classic pump into May halving. I essentially, in that video, I'll just kind of go over it here real quick. There's more to it than just this, but up till we get to this high, I think we're just going to continue to consolidate or crawl. Next week might be the point where we break above it, and when we break above it, we'll probably see fireworks to higher prices. But I do think that the look on the ribbon, and I think the look on the RSI that we have on the daily and the weekly, it all just looks really good. So Ethereum Classic going on the list. Atom, you guys, this one I think also looks really, really good. Very positive structure on its 123 daily moving average. If we look at the RSI for what it's worth, wouldn't even get oversold. You're bouncing at an area that you've bounced 3 times prior, even kind of in this area before. It's an area that's common for you to bounce. You're back above the 50, looking strong for sure. On the weekly, you also have a very strong look. Higher lows, higher highs. You're bouncing right off the 60 as well, and I believe it also has that ribbon correspondence. Yes, it does. Yeah. You technically had the cross last week, but you pulled back to the ribbon. You're having a bullish engulfing candle. This might be like the one to watch out of all the ones that we've gone over. Who knows? I would bet that out of the top 100, there will be a coin that does better than any of these that I've talked about. But I shouldn't even say bet. I wouldn't be surprised, but these are the coins that I've selected nonetheless. Yeah, man, this one out of all the ones we've gone over so far is the one that I'm kind of most excited for. But you never know, man. A coin like Mana or YFI, it could cause some mayhem. IMX, Immutable X, can't be muted. I like this, kind of similar reasons as I think it was ETC or maybe it was Filecoin. Where you're like reaching down, but you just can't quite get it. You're getting wicks. I think it was Filecoin. Wicks on previous areas of resistance, looking really good. If we take a low point here to a high point, you're holding support at your 50. You got a tweezer bottom there. You're above your 382, looking like you want to reach for that 236. I have some pretty strong confidence that this thing wants to move up as well. And I think if we look at it here, IMX, USD, we look at it here on the weekly. Yeah, the weekly RSI looks very strong, man. Very, very strong indeed. You had bearish divergence, but you pulled back, literally pulled back. I would say that divergence is fulfilled. You have lower lows in your RSI while having higher lows. That is hidden bullish divergence. Your volume is dying off, but I think you want to have one more climb higher, probably around like these highs here, and then you'll move down. I'm wondering actually. Yeah, probably around those highs. You're at like $3. You might move up to $5. Who knows? But looking pretty good. The daily RSI bouncing right off of the oversold zone. You could, with this, you are still in a downtrend, so this is one that I'm a little bit iffy on. You could reject right here. You really could. But looking at how you closed yesterday, that's a really bullish looking candle. You really what you did from relative high to low is you found support on your 382, closed above your 0.5. I can't help but think you're going to go higher immediately. So if you go up higher immediately, you're going to break this daily downtrend that you have, and that will be an ignition in itself, a very bullish signal for Immutable X to move up. So IMX looking good as well. Let's talk about WIF, of course. Everybody's favorite new meme coin, Dog with Hat, man. Up today already 14%. This week up 58%. Love to see it. Love to see meme coins doing well, man. I think the crypto markets are healthy when meme coins. You want to see a healthy crypto market. You need meme coins to do well. You need people to make money on ridiculous things because that draws people in more than groundbreaking technology for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, man. It's like we're in high school where the most impressive, intelligent mind is not the person that people are impressed with. They're impressed with the guy who's or the girl who's not that smart. They look good. They're kind of funny, right? Like meme coins. I don't know. They're not complicated to understand, and you get a good feeling about them. So you hang. I don't know. I'm normally better at analogies, but that was the best attempt that I have. Dog with Hat probably does continue to go up higher next week. I really like the way this daily RSI looks, bouncing off the 50 here. You are getting set up for some bearish divergence, so don't be surprised if next week we find a relative high. At which case, let's just look real quick. High to low here. You could move up to 515. You're at 448 now, 449. And climbing, you could move all the way up to 762, but somewhere in this area probably is where you're going to go. After that, after this area, you'll probably pull back down to about 320, maybe even lower than that. You could go below $3 for sure. So just be aware of that. If not by the end of this week, I could be wrong on this one. Maybe this week it finds its high and it starts moving down next week, but I wouldn't be surprised if next week it finds its high and at some point does start moving down, but I think it does continue to move up into next week is the main point. CRO is the last one, Kronos, Crypto.com coin. It's an exchange token. Relative, nope, that's not the right one, but okay, come on now. Relative high to low, we did close into the 618 zone. Yesterday we actually closed just below it, but we're forming these higher lows still. Daily RSI looks pretty damn bullish to me in my opinion. I'd love to see today close green because if it does, that means you're bouncing off of the 60 area after yesterday's close, which would just be the precipice, I don't know, the prior, why can't I think of words right now, man? It would be the thing that is necessary before the good stuff happens. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. I feel like it's precipice or maybe it's impetus. There's a word. I can't think of it. But anyways, Kronos looking good. On the weekly, you're also getting this bounce with this green week closing off of the overbought zone, which would be awesome to see, man. That could set you up for prices. You're at 15 cents now. You could go all the way up to 21 cents, 24.3 cents, somewhere in that area. If we pull up the moving average ribbon here and put it on a log scale, you are as well having this cross. You reached down for it, had a dragonfly doji, man, or I don't even know if I think that's a dragonfly. I don't know. Technically, I think a dragonfly has to have a little wick to the upside. I don't know what that would be, but some kind of doji candle where you reach down to your previous resistance points and now you're going up. Not just a wick of resistance points, but this closing high here, literally on your weekly closing high, tipped it. And you're having the cross. I would expect good things for CRO to happen as well. So that's it, guys. That's the video. In short, again, that list would be Litecoin, YFI, Mana, Compound, File, ETC, Atom, IMX, WIF, and CRO. Those are my top 11 picks for next week out of the top 50. So 11 coins out of the top 50 doing well, man. That's good. That's pretty good for the markets. So oh my goodness. How could I forget? Bitcoin Cash? Because that was just 10 coins. I didn't have Bitcoin Cash written down. Bitcoin Cash, you guys, is reaching for the skies. We're at $601. It's actually dropped recently from where I thought it would. Thought where it would go, but from high to low, hit the 1414. Absolutely, we could see this thing turn around next week. It is possible. But looking at the daily here, man, we're getting that separation. We kind of consolidated. We're getting that separation now. Looking at the 4 hour. We found resistance on the 1414. We found support on the 1272. This bit of a turnaround here is a little bit of a cause for concern in the immediate terms, but inevitably, I do think that sometime next week we're going to see prices all the way up at $700. We're at $600 now, so it's not quite a 20% increase, but it could go higher. It absolutely could go higher, but I'm thinking around $700. So just more or less in the immediate terms, I think it does want to move up. This might be one where I have to use the RSI. Let's go to it real quick. I did make a video on BCH recently as well. To be fair, it was probably about $20 higher than it is now in that video, or at least $10 or $15 higher. Looking at the daily RSI, we do have this bearish divergence presenting itself. And, you know, Bitcoin Cash could move down to $500. It could happen fast and then just move right back up. But I explained in that video, if you want to check that one out as well, just shilling my videos here. Bitcoin Cash short-term targets. I'm not impressed by the idea that we're going to go down. I really don't think that we will. I think we've broken out of this range. I don't think we're going to go back down to it personally. That's just my opinion. But looking at the 4-hour here, you do have lower lows in your RSI while maintaining higher lows in price. The volume has died off a little bit, which, you know, might be why we're moving down now, but we could move down rather immediately down to about 580, 570, 560, somewhere in that area. But I think next week we will see prices up at $700. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. I appreciate all of you for coming. And again, a special shout out to M Hat, Mr. Hat himself. You know, this video is an inspiration to you. And I do want to do more of like a consolidated top 5 picks, but I really did, man. I put some time into it today, and I was having a hard time figuring out what my top 5 were. I just felt like I would be lying. I would just be choosing 5 to say 5, because none of them, all of these I'm confident are going to go up next week. I'm just not confident as to which one's going to go up the most. It could be Mana, it could be Compound, it could be YFI, it could be Filecoin, it could be Atom. I feel like Atom, to me, is the one that stands out the most for a short-term play. It could be Whiff, of course, just continues to whiffle all the way up. But anyways, guys, that's it. Take care. Bye-bye. See you on the next one.